This is Stanley. One of Stanley's favorite things to do is steal things that he shouldn't have in his mouth, like screws and wood chips and stuff like that. And his guardian freaks out a little bit because she's worried, she's concerned, she's a responsible puppy guardian. She doesn't want him to eat something that's going to be dangerous. And so in this video, we're going to teach you how to teach your dog to drop things. Now I'm disengaging with him. If I gave him a treat or petted him, give him attention when he jumps up on me like that, I would be rewarding this. All right, so he's doing this because he really likes the treats. The treats I use have a really strong scent, and they are chicken litter, which is the smell of treats is the most important thing for dogs. So the first thing I'm going to do is to teach him to leave it is I'm going to have one treat in my hand. I'm going to hold the loose treat in front of his hand, and he's licking it, licking it, licking it. I'm waiting for him to drop off. Just stop trying to take it. And however long it takes is however long it takes. So don't move your hand away. Hold it with a loose fish to make sure it has a really strong aroma. So the first stage is I just want him to know that when he disengages, that's when the treat happens. So now I'm going to put all the treats in this hand and alternate hands. I'm going to take the other one outside of his line of sight so he can't see it. I'm not saying leave it yet because we're not ready at the stage. Come back over here. You're so good looking, we want people at home to see what you look like. Sit. And have the treat between your thumb and forefinger lengths ready to go. So we're teaching when you try to take it, nothing happens. But when you give up on it, you get rewarded. Now this is the first stage. This is the easiest stage. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit more challenging. Yes, climbing up on me is definitely not going to get it. How about over here? Sit. So when I drop it, I'm going to drop it on the ground now. When I drop it, I want to drop it right in front of him. I'm going to drop it over here. And I'm caging it. Leave it. Now notice I'm always giving him the treat from my off hand. He never gets the item that is on the floor. Otherwise that confuses him to think I just have to wait before I get it. Let's try that again. Now if I have to, I'll go all the way to the floor like that, but what I was trying to do is hold it hovering. At this point, I'm waiting for him to look at me. Leave it. Otherwise, he's kind of like almost objectifying the treat. If he's just exclusively focusing on that, and I wait for him to get my attention because I'm in control of the treat. Oops, let's do that again. Always drop it. Never place it. Leave it. Still there. Then I pick it back up. So what we're doing, the whole point of this is we want to gradually start elongating how long it is before he's able to get it. Leave it. So I'm moving pretty fast. Most people are going to move a lot slower than that. Leave it. And I keep my hand kind of in this area, so if I have to, I can cage it immediately. But go as low as you can. You don't want to have to cage it if you have to. And the guardian's going to practice this with me when I get done. You're kind of moving out of the camera the sight, buddy. Leave it. Sit. Sit. Okay, so that's all I'm going to show for this lesson, but I'm going to talk about another problem that the guardian has, and that you might have the same problem as well. Let me move back a little bit because the guardian's scrunching as far back as she can because this is Los Angeles. We don't have a lot of real estate. So he gets very excited when he's going next door, which is the guardian has a relative that lives next door. Now, a lot of us, when the dog gets excited, we misinterpret excited for happy when it comes to dogs. And we just keep on moving. The more excited the dog gets, the faster we move. And the more faster we move, the more excited the dog gets. It becomes a vicious cycle. So what we want to do is teach the dog that rushing and pushing is going to actually cause me to stop, where behaving calmly gets me to move forward. So what you do is when you put the leash on him, and I'm going to show the guardian how to use a conditioned emotional response to get him to stop. He kind of runs away when they pull the harness out. So if you have that problem with your dog, you can look up CER, Conditioned Emotional Response, on my website. I have videos for that. But what we want to do is put him on the leash and then start walking towards the door. As soon as he starts pulling or getting in front of you, just stop. Actually, Tell you what, we'll demonstrate this. I should have had this out earlier. That's okay. You look like you're a good leash dog. You're a good dog for this leash. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go stand over there. Can you do me a favor? Can you grab the plant and put it back where it was? Here, buddy. So we should have set this area up ahead of time. I'm going to transition this way. I'm going to have you sit on this side of the couch so you can actually see us over here. Then you can go wherever you want. All right. So I'm over here with the dog. And as soon as the dog knows, what's your brother's name?
John.
Do you say, let's go to John?
No, we say Boob. That's what we call
Boob?
her. Boob is, that's what we call
Boob,
the dog.
Boob, Boob, Boob. I'm not pulling him. I'm asking him to come back on his own, and he gets a treat. This is actually one of the techniques I use to stop dogs from pulling on the leash. So as soon as the dog walks in front of me, I stop, gets the end of the leash. And this will actually condition the dog that when it gets to the end of the leash, instead of actually continuing, just to automatically come back to the human. See how he's lingering? Now we walk in. And I'm pulling the leash. I'm not actually pulling him. I'm just positioning the leash over. Didn't even get to the end of the leash that time. Came back. And a lot of times if you want to get really smooth with it, you can do this. Take a step backwards. Turn him around, put him in a sit, take up, sit, take your step, up. Now you're putting him in the heel position before you actually walk off. So if you break down the activity of going to your brother's, every time he passes in front of you, stop, have a treat. As soon as he turns around to you, lower the treat to nose height, and then lead him back this way to give him the treat. After a while, when he gets the end of the leash, he'll just automatically turn and come back to you. That's an automatic response. And this way you're teaching the dog to pay attention to you and not to pull ahead of you on the leash. All right, this is how you can teach your dog to leave it, as well as a bonus little section on how to teach your dog to stop pulling and moving forward in an excited fashion when something, or moving towards something that they're very excited about.